Hi, Miriam. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It's a real honor and a privilege. So you have worked as an IP paralegal in the US for quite a few years. Actually, this was your third recession that you've seen, 1989 as well as 2008 and now. How is the current COVID-19 situation impacting the legal sector in general, and which are the major changes you've seen in the last few months?
Well, it's it's kind of early to say for me how it's impacting. I think that, like the other two recessions that I've experienced, I think that clients are being more cautious. I think that they are really looking at um, what they're getting for their money, and which of course they always should. But I just think that people are they're still working, but I think that they're just trying to figure out what's going on in terms of how much they're going to be spending and really what it is they're spending on.
Right. Yeah. So people are being a little bit more cautious and understanding, but not necessarily lowering their cost. And as an experienced IP paralegal, one of your areas of specializations is patent prosecution, as well as trademark prosecution. How is the current situation affecting this line of work in particular?
I don't really see it affecting me in terms of I'm still busy. My I'm still getting work. I'm still working. So I don't really see it affecting me yet. But again, it's still too early to tell. I'm fortunate to work with people, with law firms that really believe in me, and they're really keeping me up to date on in terms of what's going on with their business, and so I'm not really seeing it impact yet. But like with 2008 and in the 1990s, over time, is where I started to see things change. It took about, I'd say, 6 months to a year for me to really see the impact on the industry in terms of what people were doing. But like I was saying earlier, uh, IP tends to be pretty resilient, and again, it's a testament to the people that I work with in terms of how their clients trust them. So I'm just fortunate to have worked with law firms that have clients that really trust them and that they service very well. So, I've been fortunate not to be impacted too adversely from these downturns.
So you have actually seen two recessions prior, and from what you had
Yes.
mentioned, that it should take about 6 to 8 months. We're already 2 months in, and then you've seen positive impacts. Are you saying that you can see that the patent offices, the people are going to be um, positively impacted probably within the next 6 months?
I wouldn't say positively impacted. I would, again, it's hard to say. I would say that people are going to be cautious. I would say that people are going to really, I think just in general, people are holding on to their money, So I think that people are really going to want to make sure that they're getting quality for what they're spending, which they always should be. But I just think people are going to be looking more carefully at what they're spending in general. I think we all are, but I really think that in terms of legal services, that's what people are going to. That's what I saw in 2008. That's what I saw in the 1990s. That clients really want to make sure that they're getting quality for the money they're spending. So there'll be a lot of competition, and there are a lot of opportunity for law firms and professionals like us to just do the best that we can and to always improve. I mean, that's the way that I see it.
Right. So you have worked as a legal assistant, IP secretary, and patent paralegal. Do you see this current COVID-19 situation having a positive impact for those in such roles? And like, would it open up new areas of expertise or a new set of skills?
I think that we will finally be looking at working remotely because we're all working remotely now. And me personally, I just think it's something that we could have done a long time ago. While I understand it's good to be in the same space as your coworkers and your colleagues, and there is an advantage to having that physical proximity to each other. There are definitely, opportunity. You can do this remotely, and you can do it just as efficiently. You don't always have to be in the same space. And I think that there's an opportunity to look at cost. The cost of having physical spaces, the cost of having office space, and what you're doing with, if you're not spending money having people in one place in a physical office space, what else can you be spending that money on? You may be able to spend it on better client service, or anything. It's just an opportunity to really look at the way we're doing things.
So you currently been working remotely for over a year now, and it
Yes.
might be early stages. In the past, you've worked with some larger law firms, but do you think COVID-19 will have a permanent impact for experienced IP professionals working on a freelance basis, such as yourself? And any examples you can share with us?
I don't have any examples. I just kind of have, this is just my opinion and my experience having worked remotely for a year. Um, there is definitely, it was an adjustment for me because I've worked in an office for so long. Um, but I do think that there is an advantage to law firms going with remote help. I mean, I think it will give law firms the opportunity to look at what it is they actually need from their support staff. I think when you have support staff in one place, when you can just go and say, okay, well, I need for you to do this, I need for you to do that, just because you're there. Now it's more like, okay, do I really need um, this paralegal to be doing this? Maybe this is something that a receptionist can do, or I can get a secretary to do. It's an opportunity to just look at how you're using your staff, to not have them there physically, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like the law firms and companies are going to learn how to be much more efficient. And is there anything
Exactly.
else you would like to add that reflects how IP has been impacted by the global reality that we're currently living in?
I think the most important thing is, you know, that, we are going through a very certain time, and there's really nothing good about a pandemic, obviously, I mean, because it's affecting our health, it's affecting our way of life, or freedom of movement. But if you can pull anything positive out of something so horrible, it's that it gives us an opportunity, the industry, to look at how we conduct business, um, how we use support staff, um, and just how we practice in general. We're working remotely now. This is really just an opportunity to say, wow, can we build upon this? Maybe not work remotely all the time, or maybe just really look at when we need to be together and make those experiences more meaningful.